You should ask them. I think they don't like the law.
Well, why is it so important to get into Victoria?
Say again?
Why is it so important to get into Victoria?
Well, it's important to get into Victoria. No different than in Canada, it was important to get into Ontario, and why in the United States it's important to get into New York. Because we believe very strongly that our sport is here to stay. It's going to continue to grow in popularity. Our athletes are still going to continue to grow. And you want to make sure that there is a consistent and safety-oriented regulatory environment for the sport to be competed on across an entire jurisdiction. So you take a look at the state of the country of Australia. We want to be able to come here on an annual basis and bring 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 different events on an annual basis. Right now, we are restricted and shut out the second largest state and the fourth largest state, which takes us out of Melbourne and takes us out of Perth. And talk to fighters in those jurisdictions, and all they want to do is have a chance to apply their trade, to demonstrate their mixed martial artistry, and to compete in front of their home crowds, and they don't have that opportunity.
The fact is the UFC is so big now that everybody associates MMA with the ultimate, don't they? They don't associate with boxing ring, such as pride.
And we've shown numerous video clip evidence of fighters being thrown under the ropes, between the ropes, over the ropes. There's one particular clip that shows 2 fighters and the referee being thrown outside of the boxing ring onto the floor. And so that's what I find unconscionable, that you would actually regulate a sport and permit it in an environment that's actually unsafe.
So I think I read in an article that you were planning on doing 3 to 5 shows in 2014. How do the restrictions that are currently in place affect your scheduled plans for next year?
Well, I'm not sure where you may have read that we're doing 3 to 5 shows in Canada. I don't think we've never said that we would be doing 3 to 5 shows here. But in time, that's what we like to do, and we can't. I mean, right now we're really restricted to New South Wales and Queensland. We love Queensland, and this will be a regular. Brisbane will be a regular stop on an annual UFC schedule here. But right now, I mean, before you want to invest in infrastructure and open offices and do all the kinds of things that will actually generate economic activity in this country, there's fundamental places we can't even go.
So basically, with what's in place, we're limited to maybe 1 or 2 shows a year. That's
correct. But I've always said it's a matter of when, not if. We're patient people, we're diligent people, we're consistent people. We're not going to change our feelings towards the events, to our feelings towards fighter safety, just so we can have a show. I mean, they told us you can come here and do a show in Victoria, you can do a show in Perth, but it's going to be in a box here. And we would not do that. We would not compromise the health and safety of our athletes just to comply with what we think is a very nearsighted, short-sighted, and unreasonable standard.
Saturday's event. What is it configured for, and does it show up?
It's configured center stage, 360 center stage, as they call it in business. Every single seat in the Brisbane Entertainment Centre will be. I think on my last check of ticket sales, there are, I think it was 37 left, and I think those are probably singles, going by the way it is. So I mean, it's and we're Wednesday, so it'll be north of 12,000 people. You cannot cram any more people into there. It's going to be a great event. I feel badly for the MMA fans that don't have the tickets yet, because it's going to be tremendous. And so, I mean, it's, watch it on Fuel TV. It's going to be amazing.
What's the shows you had in Australia? Because when you first came out here with a couple of the bigger UFC pay-per-view shows, you had an international card, well supported. Is that plan to still bring those sort of fights here, or are they going to from now on be primarily Australian-based fighters trying to break onto the bigger scene?
I think it's a combination of both things. I mean, we've got, on this card, you've got, I push for as many Aussie fighters as possible. My experience in Canada, we've been running shows there now for 3.5 years, my team. We've held, I look at the last 10 events we've held in Canada. I've pushed hard to have Canadians on the card. Fans love to watch their local heroes, the people they promote. In the case of this card, I mean, we're really lucky because not only do we have great Aussie fighters, but we've got great international fighters. I mean, Mark Hunt is a great legend from here. But he's fighting number 4 heavyweight in the world, and he was obviously no slouch in Big Fist Silva. Then you take a look at James Tahuna. That's a big fight for him. But he's going against former light heavyweight champion Shogun Rua, who's he's a legend, right? And then Anthony Peroche asked for Ryan Bader. He asked for Ryan Bader, and I remember when I saw him right after his 14-second knockout. He went up to Dana and said, "I want to fight Ryan Bader," and so not only are we able to bring great Aussie fighters, but we're able to put them up against some of the best fighters in the entire planet. And to me, that's an incredible card, and it's one of the reasons why the card's so. It's a great card.
You get another guy. After you pass this card of Australian fighters, don't you get it? That level runs real deep.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, this is, whenever we knew this fight was coming, and I started early to lobby for who I wanted on the card, and in the end, I completely trust Joe Silva and Sean Shelby and Dana. I mean, those guys have forgotten more about mixed martial arts than I'll ever know. So, but I trust them, and these guys delivered, and I think the fans are in for a great show.
We just saw Hector Lombard here. He lobbied for a spot on the card. Can he come close to making the cut for it? I know he
I'm not exactly sure. Why Hector was not on this card. The card's loss is, I guess, our game because he's here as a guest fighter. Robert Whitaker's a guest fighter here as well, and Sean Pearson. Sean. A lot of people remember what Sean did to George Soteropoulos back at the Gold Coast a year ago. And so, I mean, we're fortunate. I mean, one of the things that's really important about our sport is we try to make sure that our athletes are in front of and have a chance to be close to the fans. Because in the end, it's the fans that own this sport. Dana and Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, they're the custodians of the UFC, but in the end, it's the fans that own it. And that's why we try to be as close and bring our athletes as close to the fans as we can.
In the last week or two, there's been a lot of talk about UFC's 2014 schedule with 50-plus events and being able to watch some events on the UFC
digital network.
platform.
Yeah.
Is there any more details you can give us about that?
Well, it's really exciting. Actually, we're going to be launching it down here in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada here in January. And this is an opportunity for UFC fans to have access to content that typically they wouldn't have a chance to see. One of the challenges we've always had globally is that and this is actually this event that's going on this weekend is a good example of that. And Aussie fans are remarkable in as much as this fight, the first fight I think is going off Saturday morning, probably 9 o'clock, 9:30. And it's typically geared to a television audience in North America, so it goes off at 10 o'clock Eastern and 7 o'clock Pacific. So in different parts of the world, in Asia, in Europe, in Brazil, and in time here as well, we are going to be launching UFC fight nights, local fight series, which will actually have fights going off in prime time local. So you will see in the future, quite easily, hopefully a fight card in Perth that will go off on a Saturday night or a Friday night at 8 o'clock local time in prime time. So when they do that, I mean the broadcast is going to be back in North America at 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever the crazy time will be. And the point is that we want to make sure we have a chance to build the sport and expose it to as many fans in the time slots that they want to watch it. But then we also know we've got fans around the world that are going to want to watch it regardless. And so we'll put that content on the UFC digital network. And people will be able to watch it wherever they are.